Hi everyone, I'm Karen Combs and this is FlossTube number 34. It is June 26, 2024 and it's been about just over 3 weeks since I recorded a video for you. It's been crazy busy. I meant to get to it earlier this week, just didn't happen, but we're here today and I'm hoping I can get it uploaded today for you. I've got lots to show you. As always, stuff piled around and got my notes, so hopefully I don't forget anything. Before I forget, I want to, very first thing, say a big thank you to Pam and Steph of Just Stitching Along. They gave me a really nice shout out, I think it was on their last video just a few days ago, and mentioned me as one of their gold star floss tubes, and thank you. Thank you for that. That was so sweet of you. So if some of you are here for the first time, perhaps because Pam and Steph mentioned that, I want to say welcome. Also, welcome to all of you that are returning. It means the world to me to read your comments, to see your, thumbs up, liking the video. It really does, and it's very much appreciated. Some of you that might be new, I know that when Pam and Steph mentioned me, they mentioned that I had quilting videos, and that is true. I started out with a career in quilting for many decades, and if you go to the very first floss tube, which I will link in the description, you can kind of see a little bit about my quilting. It's more contemporary, but why I started doing cross stitch, which is actually a return to something I did years and years and years ago, returning to it, why I started FlossTube. And then the FlossTube, I did the special one just a few weeks ago, is a sewing room tour, and kind of emotional because I was finishing up my quilting. I'll say finishing my quilting career because I can always do videos, but as far as traveling and teaching and writing and designing and things like that. So that will give you more information, because those of you that have been here for a while know I've mentioned it and I don't want to take too much time for that, but I will put links to those videos. But again, thank you to Pam and Steph, Just Stitching Along. It is very much appreciated. I'm just going to make a note so I know I've talked about that, because I have a list here and I'm going to put a link to the videos to make a list. That if you check the description box, which if you hit the title, if you're on a device like a phone or an iPad, if you hit the title on the side, there should be a description box that comes up where I link to many of the things I talk about, so you can go explore them a little more. Another thing I wanted to mention before we get into showing some of the WIPS and things I've been working on, I just returned from a fantastic retreat, which I'll talk about in just a minute. But for those of you, and I know I did this as well, it's like, oh man, I didn't even know about that retreat. Sable Stitchers have a fantastic retreat page where retreats and classes are listed. So I'm going to put a link to that as well. And I want to thank Roberta and Lenny for making that resource possible. They have a FlossTube, which is wonderful, but they also have a web page with all kinds of information, and this retreat calendar is listed there. So I'll put that also in the description box for you. So I did just return from a retreat, and oh, it was fun. It was the Getaway Girls Retreat. It was held just outside Bowling Green, Kentucky, a few hours from my home, but we had people from as far away as Canada, and waving to Bridget there. But I was there with some of my stitching group: Cindy, Mary Lou, Belinda, Georgia, Karen, Melanie, Bridget, Barbara. Jan wasn't able to join us, but oh, it was just so fun to be with some of my stitchy group. Sit, stitch, chat, laugh, share resources. It was so much fun. So I'm going to put the link to Belinda's retreat there. She holds one in July and one in October each year. So it was fantastic. And actually I'm having a little withdrawal because I stitched for 3 straight days. And when I've got home, I have not stitched much because I've been working on a lot of just, normal household things, just like you do. I'm sure all of us have busy, busy lives in different ways, but I've also been cleaning out. So if you watched my stitching room, sewing studio video, I've been cleaning out and donated quite a bit to charity, a couple local charities, and I wanted to share one because we live south of Nashville, and this is located in Nashville, and I know many of you may come to Nashville for a visit. This is a resale shop focused on crafts, stitching, knitting, sewing, quilting, drawing, paper crafts, you name it. Very well displayed, and everything is by donation. And they also employ young adults with special needs, and they were so helpful. We took an entire carload up there to donate to them, and the kids were so helpful. The manager of the shop, so helpful as well, and everything is so well displayed. It is called Smart Art, and I'm going to put a link to it. They have a Facebook page. They also have a web page. So if you're coming to Nashville for a visit, and you're going to be near the Opryland Hotel. It's not in the Opryland Hotel, it's outside. If some of you have been to the Opryland Hotel and know where the Cracker Barrel is, it's very near that. So I wanted to mention that because I was so impressed with them, and also the quality of the different items they have in there. Some of you that are stitchers, they had Bernina feet. So I don't know if they will have them when you get there, but just to tell you the quality of the donations that they get there. And as I said, so well displayed. But I've been doing that, and I've also been putting a few things on eBay. And I'll put a link to that in case you're interested. There's not much there, but I'll be adding more here and there. And I'm thinking I'm going to be selling some of my quilts, not the class quilts or the lecture quilts, but I have a lot of quilts from Quilt Market, things like that. Not sure when I'll get to that, but that's my thought process as I'm slowly cleaning out. My goal is the whole house by the end of the year. I don't know if that'll happen, but I've been slowly cleaning out. And what's interesting is today is July 26th. This is FlossTube 34, and tomorrow it will be 34 years ago we moved to Tennessee. I just thought that was very coincidental. So yes, I am cleaning out, and I've done it before, but it gets away from you, and all of a sudden you open a drawer and you think, I can't find a single thing in here because there's too much in here. And it's like an archaeological dig. You have the things you use, and then all the things you haven't touched in years. And those are things that mostly are going to different charities, local charities in my area. A few things I'll sell on eBay, but most of them are going to different charities. So, talked about that. Let's get into some stitching. Talked about the retreat. So, what I'm going to show are some of the WIPS that I've worked on, and I had going to answer one of the couple questions, but I did have a question about when I was holding up this book to check linen or floss or things. This is Book of Days, and I took it to our local Office Max and had them put extra pages and a binder ring, and they put a clear cover on it, and that's the back cover, which they just put on there. So here's the original one. And Georgia showed me at the retreat. She has an amazing book. She had quite a few pages put in there, but she keeps track, and this is brilliant. She has a page with lines in it where when she watches a floss tube, she writes down the floss tube and different things that were helpful in the floss tube. So then she can refer back and go, oh, that's right, that was floss tube, whatever number it was, and then she can refer to it. That's brilliant. So I may be doing that next time. But what I added in mine, let's see, how am I going to do this? Starts, and these are just stickers that I added there for the letters. So my starts for this year, finishes for this year, my WIPS, current WIPS, and then some extra pages. So when I hold this up, that's what it is, my book of days. And I think for the extra pages, the cover and the comb binding, I think it was $4, something like that. So the more pages you add, the more it is, but it was very reasonable. So here is my July. Let's see, stand up here to show you. So put some stickers in, and it's just been busy, and it takes a long time to thoughtfully clean out. Half the time I just think I'll just pitch it all, but I am thoughtfully going through things, what to keep, what to give to different charities in our area. So it's just been busy. So I'm going to keep this handy because I'm going to refer to it for some of the WIPs. So what did I stitch on at the retreat, and what have I been stitching on since I last came to you, which was about 3 weeks ago. Very first thing, where is it? Here it is. All right, so project bag with some of my fabric. This is one I made, but this is, I should tease you with the floss first. Some of you that have watched before already know. These are the colors. This is just a mess. I should. Real life. So here are the colors. Oh, that's just pathetic. I need. Oh, it's been one of those weeks, months. There we go. Any guesses? You probably already know. It is Shores of Haw Run Hollow. And I am using 40 count sand dune by Lakeside. It's like one of my very few Lakeside linens. And I decided to use it for this. Do you do that? You have these special linens that are hard to get, and you look at them and go, no, I'm not going to use them this time. I'm trying to break myself of that and use them. That's why I bought them. I used to say with certain fabrics I had, some of them I would just pull out and pet and look at and put them back on the shelf, and I called those the fabrics I didn't even share with myself. So I'm trying to break that and use some of this special linen. My goal for the retreat was to finish this block. I have this one done. This one I'm probably going to make some changes to, so I stopped. Finished this one, but this one had a lot of fill in, and then I've started this. So the block 3, I made quite a few changes. Let me show it to you. And here it is. If you're curious about the changes I made, I mean specific floss colors, let me know and I'll put it in the description. Here it is overall. You can see I just started on that double window there, block, but here is, well, let me go here. This one's finished, and I did change the color of the sun. I flipped it and then darkened the lips. And on this one, I did make some changes. I changed the door, the shutters, some of the flowers, the mortar color. But this one, I did a total rehaul. I added more colors, and what is that? Why is there a thread? Okay, that's loose. Let me get out of there. So I added more, or a deeper color on the outside edge. I kept the lacy effect. I removed the tree and changed the house color. I think I changed the window colors, maybe not. Changed the grass color, the sand color, changed the bird, kept one bird bath, added a bee skip, and the bee skip is from Pinker and Pumpkin. Talked about them a couple floss tubes ago. Amazing designs. So I pulled that bee skip from that blog, and the bird is also from there. Added a whale, took the mermaid out, added a whale, and I did outline stitch it at the retreat. Finished the water, finished the house. Another change is darkened the anchor. So let me show you again the original. And someone may ask, why did you make so many changes? I liked the house. I took the things I liked and added some more personalization to just make it more me, I guess. Some of the blocks you can see I haven't changed much at all, and some I've changed quite a bit. But the whale, I was talking with Georgia at the retreat, the whale is outlined. Well, the whale is DMC, I have to look up the number. But it's a medium gray, and it looks like, let me get closer, it looks like I did a darker gray. I'm getting a shadow with my light. Might need to adjust that. I'm getting a weird shadow. I apologize for that. But the outline is a dark gray-green or an olive. And I was talking to Georgia about it, and she said, why didn't you use a dark gray? Why gray-green? And I think it's because I just liked it better. This, I think, is what the whale is. And this might be the outline. But if you're curious, let me know, and I'm going to put the changes, because there were quite a few that I've done on that block. But I do like it very much. It's a very nice New England feel. So there is what I have done so far on shores, and I'm using the called for DMC. And those of you that are Ada stitchers, no specialty stitchers in this, so specialty stitches in this, so you can do it on Ada without any problem. All right, so worked on that. Hopefully I don't need that again now that I dropped it on the floor. And I also worked on, I think I showed this last time, which I've crossed the C sampler. My picture, I've wrangled it around so much, I need to retape that picture on the cover. Chessie and Me, across the C sampler. And there are some specialty stitches in here. Four-sided stitch, Smyrna cross, rice stitch. I think the rice, I'm not sure whether you could do that on Ada. The four-sided stitch, I think you could. And you could also just do cross stitches there and not do the specialty stitches. Here's the floss, and I am doing this on 36 count American Chestnut by R&R using the called for. Let me wind it up so you can see it a little more. So there's the called for, and here it is. I got the top done. Started, what this is on the edge, that's the four-sided stitch. So I've got the top done, the verse is over one, and you can see I've got the flag, I got the house, working on the flag. There are Smyrna crosses in the circle, and rice stitch, you can see where I'm working on it, in the flag, and it just gives it a beautiful texture. I think if I back up, the color is a little more genuine. So worked on that. Rice stitch goes pretty fast, but worked on that. I think the flag and the Smyrna crosses, that took a little while. So I got that done. But worked on that on the retreat, or at the retreat, and also while, since the last floss tube. Let's see, which is this one. Also in one of the bags I've made. Okay, this one is GH 1857, and I am working on the small. Let me back up so you can see. And I purchased this from Kitten Stitcher. And I got another side done. Let me pull it out here. Another side done on the mattress. And this is on 46 count. Didn't even realize it was 46 count until I was looking at it this morning. XJU Old Mushroom. And I showed this last time. If I decide to do the sampler, that will be up here on this part. But then I've gone all the way down here, so I have enough room, and that's where I'm doing the small. So there's the house, and I'm using a silk pack from Vickki Clayton Silk. I'll show that in a minute. So I got the third one done, and I have no idea why I left that much room between them, but it's almost done, so I'm not moving it. I don't know, but here are the silks. Beautiful. Just love the color. And these bobbin cases, I get it from Amazon. I can put a link to that, and then I just tape the conversion here. And someone was asking me about, do they fit? Because she got one of the cases. And at first, you just need to really push it down in, and then it will hold it. So here's the silks. The colors are just gorgeous on this. So I think I'm going to do the smalls first, because I really love that house motif, and I think some of the smalls may be what I do rather than the whole sampler, because there's certain motifs that I love, and they've been pulled out into the smalls. So this drum, and this needle book, and then the mattress is right there. So I did just work on the one side, and it took me longer than I thought it would, but I just keep plugging away. I've got one more side in the back, and then I'll be done with that and make it into the mattress. Actually, well, I'll tell you that in a minute, but I'm trying to keep up with the things I finish, which talk about that in a minute. And I worked on, and Tong Endell, trying to say it correctly, which this is by Hands Across the Sea. You've seen this because I've been working on it since February, off and on. This is on 40 count Sleeping Bear, and I am using the Vickki Clayton Silk Pack for that. And I was working on it last night. These are the colors I'm working on, so that's why they're like that. And here it is. I love this piece. Let me back up here. So at the retreat, I worked on more of the border. And last night I started doing some of the over one. I've done part of it, but now I'm doing more. And this is what's interesting. I'm looking at the pattern cover. Why are things sometimes so obvious that we don't see them? I'm working on the flowers, and I realized as I was working on the flowers and laid it all out, the flower colors are the same across from each other. Did you guys know that? Look at. I did not realize that. Up and down, I think they're the same too. They are. That would have been helpful to know, because I could have just referred back and forth. Like I said, sometimes things are so obvious that you miss them. So I'm just going to hold up the cover so you can see. So if you're working on that, or you have, or you're going to, there's a little hint there. But I've got the top almost done. I've got some over one to add in. And I've got a little bit of a flower corner to finish, because it's where 4 of the patterns come together, which I need to tape together so I can accurately do it. And Barbara showed me at the retreat. She uses GoodNotes, and she showed me how. I haven't done it yet, but I'm thinking that might be helpful. So here's the top. You can see where I'm working on the over one. This one is finished. I'm working on the over one. And where it's blank up here, that's where more over one will be. There's not too much. Well, I think the verse is over one, but got that middle section just about done. Started working on the next band and worked on the border flowers. while I was at the retreat. So let me see if I can hold it up so you can see. I have to go way back. Let me go close again. I just love the colors of this. They are so beautiful. So I am really enjoying working on this one. I think today I'll finish that over one. And I might keep working on it, or I might switch to something else. I'm thinking I might be working on samplers in August and September. I know sampler September, and I know, well, I believe that's when you start a bunch of samplers. I don't know if I'll do that, but I am going to continue working on these. All right, since I'm gonna work on this later, I'm just gonna set it over here, out of the way. So at the retreat, if you noticed in the opening, I usually put photos of kind of what's happening right now, or since the last floss tube. So you saw some pictures of my garden. I've been doing some canning, did some tomatoes. There was a farmer's market right by the retreat, so I picked up tomatoes and canned those when I got home. But there's a Shaker Village, I don't know, 30 minutes from where our retreat center was. And I put the picture of the sign in case you're traveling somewhere near Bowling Green and love history. That's beautiful little Shaker Village, and you can tour it. But I did go in the gift shop and I did pick up this basket. Oh, it's so beautifully made. It's made by a local craftsman. I don't know, does not say the name. Picked that up, and then Cindy showed me these little ones, which are just tiny. You see, fit right in your hand. So she made pin cushions out of these, so I might do that too. So that's what I picked up there at the Shaker Village. Okay, one more, and this is a new start. This is also what I worked on since I last came to you. Now this is from Hands Across the Sea. This is also another bag that I made. And I actually picked up this fabric when we were on, I was teaching on a quilting cruise, and we were traveling around Indonesia. So this was in Jakarta, went to a huge fabric mart. So picked that up and made that bag as a remembrance. But I also worked on and started Alas That Is Gone, Margaret Anderson, 1830, by Hands Across the Sea. You can get it in a booklet, or I ordered the PDF, and it comes with, it's from one of Nicola's classes, it comes with videos. And I thought, I better get started on this, because you have a certain time length to work on the project. Well, rephrase that. There's a certain time that you can access the videos, and it is months. But I bought this in January or February, and I did get all of the floss. This is the code 4. I'm using DMC. So here they are. Look at the colors. Aren't they rich and gorgeous? And here's another little something. When I put them on these floss tags, I make just a little picture of the project and just copy it on my copier, but zoom it down or zoom in on it so it's small to put on there. And then just tape the DMC on there. But those are the colors, and it calls for, and I was talking about the videos, I knew I needed to start it right away because I only have a certain time to watch the videos. And I was waiting till I had the class with Nicola, because she covered some of the stitches in our class that I went to with the Queen City Stitching Guild. So I thought, okay, I've had that class, now I need to get started on this. So it calls for cocoa, which the colors are gorgeous on it. But then I decided to go lighter, and I am doing 40 count silica by number 12 Stitch Co. So let me show you the difference. And I just liked how the colors showed up so beautifully. So you can see it's quite a bit lighter. It's still a tan, so it's a lighter version of the cocoa. And here's where I've started. I should show you the floss against Look at how they pop. And I got to tell you, this is the first time I've used this linen from number 12 Stitch Co. And I love it. They are in Australia. I think it's Nicola who does the dyeing. And I'll put the link to that too. Where's my notes? I need to make a... If I ever forget, just tell me. You said you were going to do the link. I ordered, and it came right away, and I ordered quite a bit of linen. And this is the first time I thought, I want to use this, and it's gorgeous. So here's my start. Got the top corner done. Now, did I do the... I think I'm looking, I think I started the satin stitch and took it out because I wasn't happy with it. Here we go. So it's really a pretty sampler. So I just got this kind of an unusual flower. I just got the top done so far. I love this section in here and the house. So I think it was Florence was working on it. She posted it on Instagram. Amazing. She showed that middle section. It was gorgeous, and that's what prompted me to look at a lighter linen. So here it is. Got that started. And that again is Margaret Anderson, 1812, Hands Across the Sea. It is available as a PDF, and you get the links to watch the video. So it's a class as well as the pattern. So it's excellent. I'm going to make a note to put a link to Joe's Instagram. All right, so that's what I worked on. I only have a couple things for haul. I'm trying to be very slow with purchasing things because I'm going to Hobby House to the Great British Sampler Weekend in October, and I want to save, I'd say save my pennies, no, save my dollars for that. But I did pick up, since I saw you last, Stacy Nash Christmas at Hollyberry Farm sampler. And I think when I stitch it, I'm going to lighten the linen. Here are the, I did go ahead and kit the flosses. So here they are. Maybe just wind them up. They're all, I think they're all Gentle Art. Yeah, all Gentle. There's the colors. Ooh, that's pretty. So, did pick that up. So you can see it. I know there's quite a few different Hollyberry Farms for the seasons. This is the first one that I've ordered. And I think I have one on order that isn't in yet. And the other thing I ordered is Teresa Kogut's Hello America. There's just really beautiful projects in here. I don't know when I'll start them, but I did want to purchase the book. I'm trying to get to one that, without showing the, just Teresa does a beautiful job with the photography, with the charts. 1776 sampler. So those are the little bit of haul I got. Now, those of you, I should call this, and I might even put this in the description, call it linen go round, because I'm going to show you some things I'm planning to do, and I keep swapping the linen. But before I do that, I want to show this because, let me find my notes. Linda asked about my Loara Standish sampler that I purchased from the Exemplary. Actually, it's available there on Etsy, but I purchased it from the Pilgrim Hall Museum. And I ordered it with, it comes with the DMC. These are the colors. So these are the colors of the sampler. That is the earliest known American sampler. Loara Standish, if that name sounds familiar, it's from the Pilgrims, Plymouth Plantation. This is the linen it comes with. And I decided to change the linen, although I'll use this, because I do like the color of this. I'll use this for something else. And I decided to do the Vickki Clayton Silk Pack, which the colors are brighter. This is what the sampler looks like now. And it's 16, I'm trying to see. It's from the 1600s, 1640. So, of course, the colors are faded. And, you know, I'm holding up this big box, but the sampler itself is just tiny. But I decided to do the Vickki Clayton Silk Pack, which I'll show you. But when you get this, don't get scared, because when you open it's right here, I'm trying not to knock everything over. When you get it, you get all of these charts. Don't be scared. It breaks everything down, so as you do each band, it's illustrated beautifully. You get an overall look, you get detailed look. So the first pages breaks down each band that you're working on, the colors you're going to use, the stitches, and I think I am starting on band 6 or 7. I think 6. But when you first open it, it's like, look at all these instructions. But look at the overall and then just take it a step at a time. It's just like in a knitting pattern. You look at the whole thing and it just looks like a hieroglyphic. It's like, I can't figure this out. But if you look at each line and do it, it will make sense. Here are the Vickki Clayton Silk Packs. These are brighter. But I decided I wanted to do that. And who knows, I might do part of this sampler with the original colors too. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'm on band 6, finished 6, and we're going to go to band 7 next. So here it is. And this is on, I know it's like, show it already. Just want to give you the sampler. This is on, I looked it up ahead of time so I wouldn't have to do this. It's on 40 Count Vanilla Bean by R&R. It is so beautiful. And I am stitching it so it's reversible front and back, just meaning the front looks like the back. Mostly. There's one band that's not so much, but mostly reversible. So there it is. It's so beautiful. So here's the back. It's this one, the top one. What have I got a thread for? Ah, I haven't buried that. Oh, it's short. I got to deal with that. I haven't dealt with it yet. But I did put some basting stitches as it recommended along the side so I could count. But there it is. And I'm ready to start the next band, which is pretty detailed. Let me see if I can get the box to show you. So when you order it, it does come in kit form. You can use the linen and the floss in it, or you can switch, totally up to you. All right, so this is the next band. So I'm thinking I haven't worked on Loara for a while. I might finish the over one on Anne and then go to Loara Standish. So there it is. So if you're thinking about it, don't let it intimidate you. It's like anything. You just look at the diagram, and the diagrams are fantastic. And just work the diagram, work the steps. Can't really show you without, no, I really can't show this. I finished band 6, so it must be band 7 or 8 I'm on. But everything is detailed. Maybe if I can just flash it real quick. Everything is perfectly numbered so that you can just follow it as you're stitching to make it reversible, meaning it's the same on the front and the back. And somebody, we were talking and asked me, why is it reversible? Well, this is a sampler. And if you look at it, think of clothing of the time period of the 1600s. Think of the big fluffy sleeves with the cuff, with the bell cuff, or the collars. And so if you had stitching on a cuff, you would want it reversible so it looks the same front and back. And if you take a look, you can almost see how you can envision that design, even this top one on a cuff, on a sleeve. So that's just my theory. I can't remember if I've actually read that, but that makes sense. That makes sense to me. So wanted to show you that. Linda had asked about it, and I'm thinking I might pull her out again. I haven't worked on her in a little while. So let me show you this stitch. I'm trying to figure out how to show you this next part. I'm trying to find my notes. Marie asked about counting pins. And I did put a close-up to this in the opening. So counting pins. How do you use counting pins? Well, I can show you on what I was working on Anne last night. I needed to come down from this star, down 5 and over 5. So what I did is I counted down 5 and then inserted the counting pin. I don't know if you can, of course this is going to be on a hoop, so it's not going to flop like that. But inserted 5 down, and then I could count over the next 5 and insert the next pin. I'm just going to place it there so that I knew exactly 5 down and 5 over. So I didn't have to count each time. So that's how I use it. And I just dropped one on the floor. But I did also want to show you on the close-up, and the one on the floor I'm not going to grab. But anyway, this is a little salt and pepper shaker I found at a thrift store. And I just decorate the top with the counting pins. But what this is I have some orts or just pieces of, you know, what we're going to throw away. But the reason I have it in there is I put my bent or broken needles in here. So then when it gets full, then I'll be able to discard them properly. But that's where I put my broken needles, so I know where they're at, or bent. So I did want to share that with you. So if you use counting pins in a different way, let me know and put in the comments, because it's always helpful to learn from each other and share. And often, you know, we'll share something, it's like, oh, of course, that's so obvious. It's just like the colors I showed you. And I'm getting the next little bit out here because, man, it's a pile of stuff. All right, so I showed this last time. I found this at a thrift store. And I talked about it last time. But I'm going to make this into a pillow. I had several people mention a Quaker design. And I like that idea, but I know that I have so many projects that I just want to see this in something. And I think a pillow. And I think on the back I'll put those initials, and I think I'll incorporate this band somehow. And there is quite a bit of other linen which I'll use for something else, but I was thinking of other pillows to go with it because I'm envisioning it in something. And so I was going through different, where am I going to put this so I can show you? Was going through, not on the ink, was going through some different packages, different charts that I have, thinking what could I put with it? And I'll show you what I've decided to do. But I did go through my charts, and I do have Brenda Juvet's Keeper of the Pins, and I thought, well, that might be nice. I've decided against that, but I am going to do these, so I pulled the floss I have on hand, and then later today I'm going to go to Hobby Lobby and get the DMC, and then tomorrow I'm going up toward Nashville to drop off some more things to that charity I mentioned, and there's a needlepoint store there that all Nashville Needleworks, but they carry a lot of floss. They carry all of the hand-dyed, they carry quite a bit of silk, not the 103s, but they do have a Veriswa, Dinky Dye, Gloriana. So anyway, the things that I'm missing, I'll pick up tomorrow. So I thought, I'm just gonna go ahead and pull the floss I have and then get the rest of it, so I'm ready. So I did see the Keepers of the Pin, thinking I might put that with the pillow I'm gonna make out of this. But then I thought, those letters are so elegant. I'm going to look and see what I have that would be elegant like that. And so I pulled Ruth Gibbs, 1882. I don't even know the size of it. So if I do it on 40 count, it's going to be 5 by 7. That's pretty big for a pillow. Might have to do it on 46. Or maybe I just do the top. All right, I'm going to have to think about that now. So I did pull that because I thought that is very elegant like this. And the linen that I pulled for it, so I already pulled linen. It's mocha, 40 count mocha. And I did pull, and this was already set. I've got a DMC, and this color is 3777. And I also have 2646 of Veriswa. So then I was looking at how this color is going to look with this, and I don't like how dark that is. So then this is where the linen go-round came in. So I thought, well, I did find a piece of vintage linen, the same place I found this. And of course I could use some of this, but I do have this, that I could use that. So then I started thinking, all right, what color am I going to use? And I have this Gloriana, which is, what is this? Schoolhouse Red, which is deeper than this, but I thought, well, that might be nice to use on whatever I decide. And then I have this Cranberry as well. So I'm still pondering what to do. And behind me, the display you see behind me, and I put a close-up in the introduction, that is done with Belsois Cranberry. So then I thought, well, I do have this, which is very close. It's a little more white, and this is, I think it's just white. I need to get my glasses. Yeah, it's just white. Edinburgh Linen by Zweigart. Is it Zweigart? So I've got that. And then I started pulling whites. I have Russian Tea Cake that I got at Cecilia's last year, which is 37 count, which I liked. I really like how that looks with it. And another one I really liked with it is Cedar River. This is 36 count Albarium. So let me just hold up the original linen, which is very light. So this also would work well. And what do I have this for? Oh, I thought if I want to go a little darker, I've got this XJU 36 count Dapple Brown, but this actually is going to go with something else I'm going to show you, but that's an option. So as I was pulling this linen, I started thinking of other projects that might have that elegant look that would go well with this. And there's a little pillow, and I thought, well, I've got The Rose and the Giant Pear, 1888, Hands Across the Sea. And originally, I had pulled, sorry for the crinkling, this is a piece of Tabby Cat creme brulee that was in my Sarah Milthrop kit from Sampler Symposium, but I switched to Thornfield. So I thought, well, this would work well with that. And I do have, crinkle, crinkle, I do have the Veriswa pulled. I thought, well, that is very elegant. That would look nice with this. And you see, yes. So that's an option. And that's also where if I wanted to go lighter than the creme brulee, I thought, well, the dapple would work for, oh, that's pretty. That's really pretty. That's the Rose and the Giant Pear, which I lovingly refer to as James and the Giant Peach. So thankfully I called it the right thing this time. So going through this linen go round, then I thought, well, I've got, and this is Dorothy, the needlework of Dorothy Sampson by Hands Across the Sea. Sorry, crinkle. That just means good things are coming. When I was at Sampler Symposium a year and a half ago, Shelley was working on this. It was gorgeous. And I thought, all right, got the threads pulled for it. And I originally was going to do it on the Tabby Cat, which you can see. I think that's what it calls for, the creme brulee Tabby Cat. Pretty sure. But would that look good with the sampler? A lot of people did the Honesty. I can't quickly see what it, Lollybrock is what this was stitched on. But I thought creme brulee would also look nice. A lot of people did Honesty is the best policy, but Shelley was working on this one, which was just charming. And I thought, well, that might work. So maybe, and now I'm getting things mixed up, which I don't want to do, maybe using the dapple, except it's 36 counts, and I'm gonna have to think about that. That's really pretty, so that's an option. But what I originally, see, I keep going back to what I kitted with, and then I keep thinking, well, maybe I'll change it. I also thought I might do, this has got floss in it, might do bee's knees for Dorothy. All this is related to, I like the elegant look of this to go with the little pillows I'm going to make to go with this. And I do not like that. So I thought I'm going to go to the lighter. See why this is linen go round? This bee's knees, now you have to be really careful because I've got everything I don't want to mix up. This bee's knees, I was going to do with or use with this When Thou Art Rich, early Quaker Sampler 1710, 1730. I got this at the attic. This is Hands Across the Sea. And I thought the bee's knees would be beautiful. And here are the Veriswa. There, that's more the color. But wait, last time I showed you, more crinkling, that I purchased Ann Johnson from Traditional Stitches. It's an exclusive, and I thought I missed out, but they still have it. So Ann Johnson and Bridget posted on Instagram her progress, and that's what prompted me to see if they still had it available. So I ordered the 103, and when I saw the linen, I thought, oh, I've got that piece of bee's knees. So now I'm thinking maybe I'll use the bee's knees from that I kitted this and use it in Ann Johnson. See why this is called linen go round? I think that's really pretty. I've got to do a floss toss and make sure nothing gets lost on it. There's a couple colors that are kind of close. That one down there. So I've got to check. So when I saw that they were kind of close, then I went in my linen bin and started pulling some other more gold tone linens. And I thought I'd show them to you, which I don't intend on starting any of this soon, but I do think I'm going to make this into a pillow right away, and I might start one of these little ones to go with it. I'm still thinking of that. But this is a gorgeous, gorgeous gold. This is 40 Count Gold Rush by Bestitch Me. I picked this up at Cecilia's. No, picked this up at Shepard's Needle when I was in Little Rock. Look at those colors. I've got to check this color, make sure it doesn't, it might blend in too much. But then, you know, where is it? Is it inside something that it wouldn't matter? I've got to check that. So I thought, well, that color's gorgeous. I think this is the bee's knees. Yeah, let me just show you. Here's the bee's knees. Here's the Stitch Me. So it's quite rich gold rush. Much more gold. So I'm thinking of that. Then here's another very gold one. This is Nutmeg by Classic Color, Color and Cotton. Let me show it against bee's knees. So much darker. Here's the floss. This is why it's linen go round. I mean, look at the colors there. That, I like that. This called for Tiki Boo, but I'm looking at the linen that I have. And then one more, this is not as dark. This is Sand Dune. Which is got some gold in it. You can see the gold. And here's the colors. It's really quite pretty. That's really pretty. So I'm not sure what I'm going to use for Ann Johnson, but I do have those options. And if I use the bee's knees, then I need to find another linen for this. And what did this call for? And I can never, here it is, Lakeside Buttercream. So I'll need to find something else for that. So anyway, that's my thought process that I wanted to share with you. I'm just thinking there are times that I'll mention that to my husband. You know, I'm thinking of this, and his eyes just glaze over. He's like, you're crazy. But it's all a process, and as I thought, this is so elegant, the little pillows that I'm going to put with it. And this is antique, and it's from France, so I think I probably will put something elegant with it as far as a pillow. What's the size of the Rose and the Giant Pear? On 40 count, it's 8 by 3. That's still pretty big for a pillow. Maybe I could just pull a motif out of it and do the little motifs like the giant pear or the rose. Something to think about. I'm going to think about that. So as far as plans, I had hoped that this would come in before I taped today. I'm going to Hobby Lobby to pick up something that I have framed, which it didn't come in yet. I'll show you next time. But I thought as long as I'm going into Hobby Lobby today, I'm going to pull a couple charts, pull the floss I have on hand, and then when I go to Hobby Lobby, I'll get the DMC that I'm missing. And when I go to Nashville Needleworks tomorrow, I'll pick up the hand-dyed. So this is, there is Liberty. So I'm going to get the floss for that. This is Plum Street. I think this is one of the new ones. I'm missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 DMCs. But here's all the DMC that I have. And it only calls for 3 hand-dyed. So I don't plan on starting this soon, but I did want to get the floss. So if the mood strikes, I can pull from my linen and I have the floss all set. And the other one that I was thinking about using with a little pillow that I'm going to make, this. Thought about these little pillows, but then I thought, no, they're not quite elegant enough for that particular pillow. They might work, but I think I'll do these for something else. This is Seasons of the Heart by With Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Duvet. It's got spring and summer, autumn and fall. And I did pull what I had on hand. And I got quite a list of what I need to pick up. So again, I'll pick up DMC today and the others tomorrow. And the only other thing I have to show you, I got a mess on the table, which is going to be a problem because all those things I was holding up, they're all over here. So I'm going to be very careful so I don't mix up everything. I'm just checking my notes here. The only other thing I wanted to show you is when I go to the Great British Sampler weekend, which is in October, Nicholas sent some homework for us to do, and I finished one that's back there. But she's sending it for us to do our own colors, and I can't show you the chart, but I can. This one I worked on, and I showed you a long time ago. And then I set it aside, and I didn't know if I was going to finish it. And I pulled it out after talking about this with my stitch group at the retreat. I thought, well, do I want to finish it? How much do I have done? I have a lot done, so I think I'm going to finish it, I think. This is Marie Rigby, 1835. And I can't show you the chart, but I am using, I have all these silks that I've used for other projects. This was, I put them on these before I discovered that beautiful winding stick that makes everything the same by RNRKY Woodworking. So just show you those. So I am pulling from those because these are silks that were in other projects that I still have some left. But this is how much I have done, and this is on, I know it's an R&R Espresso. I can't even find my book now. But I've got the border done, I've got the top done, and it's, the verse says, onward, onward, may we press. And yes, they are this condensed when I show it to you. I have that one done. The rest of it is, through the pathway of duty, virtue is true happiness, excellent, true beauty. Minds are of celestial birth, make we then a heaven of earth. And then it's got some motifs, and it's got her name down below, and it's January 1835. She was 13. I've got a lot done. Got all the border. And yes, the verse is squashed like that. I don't know. I'm thinking, well, do I do the verse? Maybe it would make a nice needle book, or a big needle book, or the pouch. I don't know what to do. I've got so much done. So I'm thinking I will pull that out and work on, because it's in October. So, and I can't, I really can't show you the chart, but I can, there'll be some people on Instagram that finish it. I'll show you that later. So I think that's it. So my plans are to do the over one on Anne. This one, decide if I'm going to work on or not. finish. And we're picking our own colors too, so some of it I stopped because I wasn't sure if I liked it, and now I think I do. So I've got that. And I think I'm going to work on Loara Standish. So that's what's happening in my stitching world. I don't know if I can. No, I can't tip it down to show you. It's just piles of a mess of everything here. I'll take a little while to sort it out, but I will probably be back in about 3 weeks. We've got some stuff going on in 2 weeks that I will be busy with, so probably 3 weeks. Until then, I want to thank you for joining me, and I want to wish you happy stitching, and I guess that's it. Bye, everyone. Thank you for joining me.